Now, having directly coached, trained, and counseled many people across many industries, Abiola Champ Salami is a published author and motivational speaker. Now, he's about to give us tips on how to bounce back from failure, which is part of course, our success and motivational talks for this month of December. Thank you so much for joining us once again.
Thank you for having me.
You know, it's how to bounce back from failure sounds very generic, but people like to hear these things every day because you know people are failing every day. People go through ups and downs.
Yeah.
Some people have had a great year, some others haven't. Now, for this year, maybe we'll start with the area of business. The stock market has been down historically. You know, also you have the border closure has affected some businesses. People who maybe they're relying on importation through the land borders. So many things have happened to certain people in the area of business this year that has been a big setback for them. How do you bounce back from failure?
One of the things we easily do around here, we say that your confession leads to your profession or possession, whatever word that we'll call it. And that is in many ways trying to cover up failure. And so the first thing is to be honest with our failures, you know, to accept it and know that, yes, I have failed. And that is the beginning of this. So whether it's in business, whether it's in your career, somebody has lost his job or hard job, whether it's even in a relationship as well, somebody had a failed marriage, failed relationship, or failed relationships within the family, father, mother, between siblings. The first thing is to accept that failure. I agree that I have failed in this thing. Now,
So acceptance is the first thing.
acceptance is very important. Because when we are not honest with our failures, we can't even seek ways to grow and improve it. If we keep saying it is well or it will be well, I have failed. But then as much as we are saying accept that you have failed, don't beat yourself down too much as well. Because that could even lead you to a state where you think, where you can't separate the failure from your person. That I have failed doesn't mean I'm a failure. So the first thing is I accept that, yes, I have failed in this instance in business because of the government policy or because even of some things I probably did wrong in the course of the year. So I have failed. Second thing is I don't beat myself down too much. I know it is the event that failed. I'm not the one that failed as a person. And so when I don't see myself to have failed as a person, I can still dream more. I can still be open to see what my errors were and correct them. And I can now bounce back in the new year to start with a new note.
So let's talk about bouncing back because I think that's what a lot of people are also thinking about. That okay, some people say I'm below the bottom of the barrel. Or, you know, some other people say, look, I'm starting from scratch. Other people say I've fallen and I can't get up. What are the steps? What do I then do if I'm thinking about making a comeback from this particular setback that I faced?
The feeling of failure itself robs us of that positive energy to want to push ahead. And so one of the things I personally do, and what I've also shared with some of the people I've coached over time that has worked, is yes, I have a big failure now, but what was the last time I recorded success? Not necessarily saying it was last day or 2 years ago, remembering the situation where I succeeded and reminding myself of that feeling that I experienced because of the success. And now saying to myself that I want to relive this experience again. Because when we fail at anything, especially when it's a big thing, when it's a defining moment, we lose energy, we lose zest. At times we even lose our self-esteem and we lose that urge to pursue, you know, to move ahead and forge ahead with something great. So the first thing to bouncing back is remember your past success. And when you remember your past success, it fills you with strength to move on. Another thing to that is gratitude. No matter how bad that thing is this year, there's still one thing to be grateful for. And when you are grateful, you also bring some positive energy into yourself that will start to make your mind to think positively, and you can look at what to do in the new year. Failure is a reality, and by the way, failure is not bad in itself. Failure is good because there are times it's good for us to fail. It gives us a check. When you keep succeeding on and on again, you can find yourself, you can think that you are just the best person in the world. You can just have that pride, and not good pride, You know, you can just have that arrogance as if anything that you touch, you have the Midas touch automatically. And it robs us of the opportunity to learn as well. So when we fail, it is good that we take a chill pill, but we don't allow that failure to hold us back from forging ahead in achieving greater things.
Now, you're talking about, most of what I'm getting from you now is to the individual. Let's talk to the collective. A situation where someone is a leader, maybe in a company, an organization or an association, whatever it is, and everybody knows that we're going through a tough time, or 2019 we failed in some areas. How does a leader lead his organization out of that situation and then focus on the new year and the future?
Fantastic. From the organizational perspective, this is performance management. And so how should the leader move on? The first is to do an appraisal of where we are as an organization. So where you are as an organization, what are the things that accounted for the failure? Is it just government policy? Are there competence issues, which is you don't have the right person that can do the work? And so in competence, you look at the composition of your team. Do they have the right knowledge, the right skills, and the right attitude in order to achieve the goal that you set for 2019? Now, if they couldn't achieve the goal for 2019, why didn't they achieve the goal? Why did they fail? And then now moving into the new year, what are the learning points such that you don't record the same thing in the new year? And as much as we're talking about this from the organizational point of view, it's also equally important that we know that employees are first people before they become employees. So it's important to touch base on an individual level first and then now collectively move on. But again, we cannot overemphasize the fact that if your team is failing, you're not meeting your target set for the year, what are the issues? Is it a performance issue again? The composition of your team, are they competent enough to do this job? Some people have a target to sell X number of products in a year, and then they just get every kind of person in. At times, because people can talk, just get them in and you think automatically they can sell. That somebody is competent enough to talk doesn't mean the person is competent enough to communicate, doesn't mean the person is competent enough to sell. So what you want to do is to get competent people who will do this job so that you can achieve your goal for the year. Now, it's okay that you did not achieve it in 2019, but it said that the last best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. So you didn't achieve it in 2019. In 2020, you want to focus on the competence of the composition of your team members so that you can exceed your goal.
Wow. Thank you so much for talking to us about focusing on these various things. I want you to just talk to someone out there, getting to the end of the year now. Just one word for them that will make them feel like, yeah, okay, I think I can get up and try again.
So, the truth is, we've come to the end of the year. Today is the 23rd. We have 8 more days to go this year. The truth also is that many great things can still happen to you even within the next 8 days. If you think about your failure too much, you may not succeed. If you consider the areas of failure and take the lessons, yes, you will succeed. But in all of this, don't let anybody make you feel inferior, because inside of you lies the power to rock your world like a champion.
Abiola Champs-Salami, thank you so much for giving us that motivation that we needed for the rest of this year, I tell you.